be a Lumbee Indian. Yes, I am. When I grow up into this world, I'm gonna be just what I am.
The skin is brown, my hair is black. I love to roll about a cooking bag. I can be anything I want to be.
I can be a doctor, a lawyer, an Indian chief.
Yes, I can.
When I grow up into this world, I'm gonna be just what I am.
My mother and my father won't frown on me. They want me to be free, to be.
Ready in 5, 4.
Welcome to the Chairman's Guest. I hope you enjoyed the interview Miss Danielle, our newest employee, had with the president of our local branch of the First Bank. And it's amazing the kind of money support we're getting from First Bank. Their headquarters is over in Carthage, North Carolina, which is on the other side of 20, on the other side of Southern Pine. So we would like to encourage all our local business people or individuals who like to make a donation to Boys and Girls Club. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to do, because I'm telling you what, the money is accounted for and it's used in the correct way. And today, to back up what Mr. Gary is saying, we're getting some money in, but now the next question I want you probably got is, how are you spending that money? And today we got our director, our youth services, Miss Wanda Locklear. Not only youth services, now let me explain to you, youth services a whole lot of things together. Our culture classes, boys and girls classes, trips for the youth. I mean, it's just a very active. In fact, her department employs more employees here than anyone else, right, Rhonda? Yes. And I made the statement, if we don't stop Wanda, everybody here is going to be working for her. So, okay. So, Wanda, how's it going?
Well, it's wonderful. We've just finished our summer program. This summer we had about 450 youth in our 3 clubs. They had a wonderful time. And you remember now, during summer we have our children from 8:30 in the morning till 5:30 in the afternoon. That's 2 snacks and a lunch every day. And believe me, if you've got to keep children active and entertained for that length of time, you've got to get up and go. It takes an awful lot to keep those children busy. And speaking of active, we like to keep them active. Remember, we're into that generation of sitting in front of the television with a game in our hand, and our thumbs get more exercise than most bodies and get. At the end of the summer, we took all the children to the water park in Greensboro, and that was made possible by a donation from First Bank. And you think, you took them to the water park. Well, that's not a big thing. When you realize that we took 4 buses of young people to Greensboro, to a water park, had to feed them while we were there, had to feed them on the way there, had to feed them coming back. That little trip just to Greensboro cost us about $20,000. When you look at having to feed those many children, and then you think, well, that's an awful lot of money. But, Chairman, you know, most of our children go back to school without taking a trip, without going any place.
And everybody watching in understands exactly what you're talking about, the economy. A lot of our kids, their parents are not able to have a vacation this time. And it's just tough. And I want to thank you for having the vision to take our kids somewhere. Because I'll tell you the truth, the first trip I went on when I was coming up, I was age 13, and my cousins, Pauline and Patricia and Edge, and those girls picked me up. Now, I didn't have a bathing suit, and they went to the river. I put on my cut-off blue jeans, and they took me to Myrtle Beach. The first time, I was 13, the first time I ever went out of the state of North Carolina. Now, that might not sound logical, but that's just the way it was. And I'm going to tell you what, the days we're living in, we're going right back to those days I come up when things were just tough. You just didn't have an opportunity to be exposed. And in saying this, our kids can do anything any other kids can do, but we got one problem. They need to be exposed to what's going on. They need to be exposed to the science, to the math, and going to a water theme park. They met some kids there doing some things they didn't even think was possible. You know what I mean?
And just watching, I was amazed at the way the water moves at a water park. I didn't realize it moved as if there were actually really, you were at the ocean recreating waves. That in itself was a learning experience for them. But it was a wonderful trip. They had a ball, and I can't say enough to thank First Bank for everything that they did.
Yes, I can. When I grow up into this world, I'm gonna travel all over this land. Mother and father around me, they want me to be free.
But I hope by this time next year, you're going to have that big club here in Pembroke. The reason I say the big club, where we'll meet now in Pembroke is just a small building. Now, the bigger club is going to be for Union Chapel, Pembroke area, and Union Elementary. So I suspect we should be running 200 to 300 kids every day at that camp, plus picking up another 100 and some. Now instead of talking about 400, 450 kids, now you're talking probably around 700, 800 kids every day. So folks, you understand, the kids in every area in the land of Lumbee needs to have the same opportunity any other kids have. But that takes money. If you want to beg a little bit.
Yes, and it takes a lot of money, an awful lot of money. What better way to spend that extra $20, $25, $200, $1,000 that you might have than with a Lumbee youth? Had you rather not spend that money with youth today so that you give us an opportunity to give them a positive place to go have fun and learn? Or had you rather wait and see that child possibly a year or two down the road, and that money's going to go to higher taxes because that child is going to be incarcerated? So you're going to pay for that incarceration.
Well, I'm glad you said the word see, because I've been looking at the papers lately. The only thing I see about our youth is for murder or robbery. And that's what these Boys and Girls Club were trying to prevent, right?
Exactly, Chairman. Most of our children, probably about 75% of our children, and you've heard me say this time and time again, come from single-family households. 90% of them eat free or reduced lunch. Now, they don't have the same opportunities at home, and more often or not, there's not someone at home when they get home in the afternoon. They need that special show of love, concern, and affection, knowing that there's somebody that actually cares about them, and that's what Boys and Girls Club does.
Okay. And churches, hey, if you want to take up a love offering for our Boys and Girls Club, God will be pleased. Now, one more thing I want to mention is another component you're going to see in the future come up under Miss Wanda Youth Department is going to be our foster care program. Trust me, we're in a battle right now to get some things solved. It's a bigger battle than I ever thought we ever had, but I want you to keep praying. Keep praying for our kids in foster care and pray for the parents in the foster care program because they need help, but most important thing they need right now is prayer that we get things straightened out. Well, Wanda, enjoy your report. Enjoy Gary's report. We'll see you next time on From the Chairman's Desk.
This world.